the right into the box. Wanga! Goal! What a goal by Alan Wanga! The second goal for Kenya.
Relive those memories this Saturday, 19th September 2020 on KBC Channel 1. As the pundits in this field say, it is not over until it is over, only on KBC Channel 1.
Mbono unanipikia yako tu simu zai. Kwanza pasti yako imefika ama imepita? Kama imepita na huku niita, tafadhali shishiki simu yako. Lakini kama pato ichafika na ukushu utaniita, nitashika, nitakamatako tu sai. Kuwa mpole, be sorry.
Kupata birthday, bonyeza star 811 star 962 hash. Bonyeza star 811 star 962 hash.
Good afternoon to you. It is the 18th day of September. Just in time for Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Betty Kiptum and Simon Karotha is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now, today is the International Day of Democracy, and that is just a commemoration that is happening at Safari Park Hotel. Our reporter Irene Muchuma Odim is on the ground there and is bringing us the latest on that. Let's just listen to her.
Kiptum, great. Good afternoon. We are coming to you live from the Safari Park grounds, and the Independent and Boundaries Commission has admitted that it is not properly placed to conduct a general election. It is attributing this to a number of issues. First, the country only has coverage of 3G network only on a 30% area, and also this would limit transmission of results, and they're also talking about lack of funds. They have also mentioned that the constitution needs to be amended. This in favor of in favor of a smooth process in case of a general election or a referendum. First, they are raising a concern that the appointments of commissioners normally come even months to elections, and according to the constitution, this is supposed to take basically 2 years for the commissioners to be able to prepare for a competent election and also a smooth process. And they have also raised a concern that when it comes to employment of people, on a minimal side, they will need 350,000 people to train and help in conducting these elections. But then the funds that are being allocated is not enough. And they're saying, unlike other countries like Rwanda, whereby these personnel are giving them their service, the exercise free, and who are these political leaders that would be funding this exercise? And another issue that also came to the fore from other political leaders is that there are no much transparency, especially when it comes to transmission of results. And this was raised today during a meeting that brought together political leaders as the Center for Democracy was commemorating International Day for Democracy, and it brought together tens of participants. And right now I'm being joined by Senate Majority Leader Samuel Pogisio to shed the light on way forward. Sir, you and I have been part of that meeting this morning. We have had the concerns raised both from political leaders as well as the IEBC. Wafula Chebukati himself, the IEBC chair, saying that the country is not properly placed to conduct a competent election, and this as we are also looking forward to conduct a referendum if at all it will be agreed to in regards to BBI, and is also raising concern on the 10 billion shillings that would only be the minimum amount they would need to conduct the referendum.
Well, thank you very much. The meeting today was still part of the commemoration or the celebration of the International Day of Democracy, and the Center for Multi-Party Democracy, under the chairmanship of Senator Abshiro Alaki, has put this together, and representatives from all sorts of parties, all political parties were there. And as you know, the ones that caught my attention was the issues about the electoral process, because as you know, being in the Senate and being a member of Parliament, those are our concerns. Concern that it's about time now that the legislature begins to think about the laws and the legislations concerning elections and electoral process. And that those issues are many, as they were raised, including making sure that the right number of commissioners is there and who appoints those commissioners, making sure that the time of appointing those commissioners is not waiting until it's about a few months. And then the biggest challenge which I raised myself was about the 3G. They require 3G. Nobody in certain places even have 2G. They're only talking about 3G because that's what you need to transmit. 2G is not even available. And we've raised the matter of the Universal Service Fund of the Communications Authority. They have a fund, but they don't seem to implement the infrastructure necessary to transmit these things. And so it's good also now to start using what opportunity like this as we try to strengthen multi-party democracy, to include that so that people and sections of our people who don't have 3G, this is the best time to start preparing and moving fast. And I know that the Communications Authority have the right intentions to do that, but so I don't know what the challenges are. But the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, need to be understood, need to come out clearly about the challenges they are facing and the issues that need to be attended to. Because then the relevant committees of the National Assembly and the Senate need to undertake now those necessary legislations that bring the reforms that we want for the next election, but also for the impending or upcoming referendum. I'm glad there was a draft. I think there was a referendum law already, and so we need to make sure that that is now able to carry us through whatever referendum is there. So, and the challenge we have is we don't necessarily understand some of the things because we have no way of knowing these things. I thought I said there that we need the IEBC chairman to be raising these matters with us so that we can now begin to undertake. And I gave my word there that we'll do our best to undertake.
Ahead of the coming exercises. Back to you, Kiptum.
Well, thank you very much, Irene Muchuma Odim, for that detailed interview with the Senate Majority Leader, Samuel Pogisho there. And he has mentioned a number of issues, including the legislation of the election process and how that is supposed to be relooked to ensure that there are free and fair elections in the country. Of course, the IEBC noting that there is a human resource challenge there, needing 350,000 people to train to conduct that election of any nature, really, and the lack of transparency in transmission of results also coming in there as a challenge. Remember, today is the International Day of Democracy, and that was just the commemoration. Now we move on to other news. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission is proposing an amendment to the law ahead of the 2022 general election to bar hate speech mongers from contesting. According to Commissioner Wambui Nyutu, NCIC is working closely with other relevant institutions, including the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, to ensure current politicians and aspiring candidates will be subjected to thorough vetting before they are cleared to contest.
In light of recent cases where some politicians have found themselves on the wrong side of the law on accusations of incitement and hate speech, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission is mulling amending the law to bar individuals of such character from vying for elective office. According to Commissioner Wambui Nyutu, NCIC is working closely with other relevant stakeholders to ensure candidates interested in vying during the 2022 general elections are subjected to thorough vetting.
We will come for you, and even if you may get a bail out of court, you will know that 2022 you should have behaved better, because NCIC is pushing for amendment of the laws so that we may be able to bar politicians who are hate mongers from running for office.
Speaking in Garissa County after a courtesy call to the County Commissioner Meru Mwangi, Nyutu regretted the political class have made it a habit of using the court to get bail and delay justice with the hope of escaping punishment.
There is a very huge responsibility that the leaders should take, because we know what happened there before, and we do not want to remember.
Because every person has to be responsible for what they do, what they say, and what they think. Secondly, our political culture also needs to change, because, and this is where now the top leaders and the political parties must come in. Even political parties and leaders of political parties must ensure discipline within their own members.
Garissa County Commissioner Meru Mwangi hailed residents for being calm and peaceful. He said the government has stepped up surveillance and appropriate action will be taken on anyone found inciting communities against each other.
We want to have and embrace the so-called multi-agency approach strategy, where every community and every reader should come to work with the others to ensure that service delivery to mwananchi is guaranteed.
Well, of course, affordable housing is one of the government's big four agendas, and our reporter Timothy Kipnusu is with the Principal Secretary in charge of Lands and Housing, and we would like to get an update on the latest on matters affordable housing. Kipnusu.
A very good afternoon to you, Betty Kiptum, there at the Broadcasting House. Yes, indeed, I'm coming to you live from Gikomba, where the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, is overseeing some of the projects by the government. You remember the President Uhuru Kenyatta's one of the big four agenda is affordable housing, and is actually ensuring that the projects by the government is actually completed. And earlier on we were at Park Road, where we also oversaw some of the projects, and he has indicated that by next month already people will be taking some of the houses. He has indicated that 20,000 Kenyans have already paid deposit to acquire houses in the Park Roads. And just to shed more light, I'm joined by him just to tell us more about this project. Many thanks indeed, PS, for joining us in KBC Channel 1. We are live. Perhaps you can break it down to us about this particular project and what is happening today.
Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to the viewers. This afternoon we're here at Gikomba Market. This is perhaps one project that makes me very proud because the construction of this is probably one of the most difficult projects we've ever undertaken. Difficult in the sense that as you can walk in and come through Gikomba, there's literally no space. There's not even a space for putting a site or whatever. But with the cooperation of the chairman and the traders, they've worked with us very well. And I think for Gikomba, this is justice, because for many years, it has been promised to them, successive governments, but so for this to become a reality, this is it's a great day. And we are here now to check the final touches as we gear up towards the commissioning of this market. As you can see, literally the structure is just about done. You can see the remaining works is the borehole. Just to let you know how challenging it is, for us to get water, it is 280 meters deep. That is how far down we have to go so that we can be able to get the water. We've had challenges, the machine, there are some rocks down there, but we are not giving up until we are able to put all the facilities that are going to make this market very functional.
Perhaps you can also tell us about the procedure that you are using actually to allocate these houses, and so far how many people, or the market, on the market of course, and perhaps also we are aware we are actually at Park Roads. You can also break it down to us the procedure that you're using as a government.
I think let's focus on Gikomba, because I think on the housing I think we discussed, but I can still tell you. But specifically for this market, remember this was a market that burnt down, and the traders, they're very organized actually. They have got their own associations. There are those you can smell there's fish being made here. There are those who are doing clothing. Want to enjoy here, maybe come closer. Is a chairman of this quarry market. They have organized themselves. They know who are the people who left here to give us space to be able to construct. Those are going to be the first people that will be allocated. Then on top, we have an open air, right, which is going to act like the decanting for the next phase, which we've already advertised. It's already in the papers. We have done a few addendums because we are trying to see how we can make second phase even bigger, and that's why we kept on extending the closing. It was supposed to close on the 15th. We've given another 1 month, and by next week my engineer here will be releasing an addendum, because we want to see how those two markets we can accommodate as many people. So the traders who are on the other side will come here, they will vacate the site, allow us to start construction of phase 2. Yeah.
And joining these two occasions that you have actually oversee today, just a brief summary of the Park Road project that you actually oversaw today, right. Briefly.
So as you know, Park Road is our first flagship project. It is now coming to an end. We started last year, April. It's unprecedented in the history of this country, where you've had such a big project start in April, and it's getting completed next month. So we were going to, I had the board members of Shelter Afrique. We had the AGM when we took them there. So Park Road is more or less done. And when the housing fund collapsed in terms of court cases, and the issue of mandatory contribution, and for us to get started, we went to the civil servant mortgage scheme, and they funded the construction, the 50% of that market, and that is why 50% of those units are being allocated to civil servants, and then the others are going to be allocated to the public. And as of today, we have over 23,000 Kenyans that have paid a deposit against just about 650 units. So we have a big challenge in our hands. Because
complete. Of course, we will be able to keep next month, to correct that, next month the project will be complete. We will be here to ensure that we gather every information that every Kenyan is supposed to know about the affordable housing, one of the pillars of the Big Four agenda of President Uhuru Kenyatta. From me, Timothy Kipnusu, I hand you back to studio, Betty Kiptum.
Very much, Timothy Kipnusu, for that detailed report. Of course, the PS in charge of housing saying that there is quite the need. 23,000 Kenyans have already started payments for those affordable housing units. Remember, Kenya's annual deficit is about 200,000 housing units, so there is quite some work to be done. But the affordable housing project seeks to build about 500,000 affordable housing units by 2022. Still remains to be seen if that will be achieved within those timelines. While we take a quick short break, we will be back with more news. Stay with us.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Me and your family are not in the same social class.
But you're a pilot.
Oh, really?
No, we have to finish the puzzle.
She's becoming a spoiled brat. Anything you have to say and wait till we're done. Your mom is very scheming. How so? What do you think, Jazz? It's Nancy we're talking about. Hi.
Next on,
I've missed you. I really miss my best friend.
What is this? Aren't you getting along with your son and your wife again?
Why are you so hostile?
Why wouldn't I be interested? You had something with her. I lay on my bed thinking that you're having a chat with her. That feels horrible.
Please don't shut yourself from me.
All right then.
So you'd better watch your words. You don't scare me one bit.
In Love with Ramon. This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Do we look like the two dumbest guys in the world to you?
In this town, you don't mess with the law.
You know how fast you were going? 65. 63.
The law messes with you.
Isn't the speed limit 65?
Yeah, it is.
I'm freaking out, man.
Give me a double bacon cheeseburger.
Double bacon cheeseburger, it's for a cop.
They're coming back, man!
Pull the vehicle over. I'm already pulled over. I'm already pulled over.
Pull over farther, man.
I can't pull over. Sir, I'm already pulled over.
He's already pulled over. He can't pull over any farther.
Super Troopers.
Welcome back. You are watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Now, a multi-agency team comprising officers from the National Police Service, Directorate of Criminal Investigations and Kenya Forest Service in Samburu County have seized a lorry loaded with 30 tons of sandalwood at Suguta area in Samburu Central Sub-County. Samburu County Police Commander Samson Ogello said the security team intercepted the lorry, which was destined for Nyahururu town.
Acting on a tip-off from members of public, a multi-agency security team seized a lorry containing 30 tons of sandalwood at Suguta area. Samburu County Police Commander Samson Ogello said the security team found the lorry hidden in a bush. Ogello said police have launched a manhunt for the owner of the lorry and the driver. He said security agents will continue working closely with residents to eradicate illegal logging.
From KPS, that is regular police, DCI, KWS, and Kenya Forest Services visited the scene and found that the motor vehicle was hidden in the bush. It was containing 30 tons of suspected sandalwood, and efforts to trace the driver and the owner of the vehicle is on process. We are yet to identify the owner of the lorry, and we are trying to search for the driver also.
Elsewhere, police in Thika, Kiambu County have arrested 3 middle-aged men at a construction site in Ngoingwa Estate after they were found growing bang. Confirming the arrest, Thika Sub-County Deputy Police Commander Daniel Kitavi said they also found household items suspected to have been stolen in the area.
Kwa sababu walikuwa na information ya kwamba kuna nyumba moja ambayo inaendelea kujengwa na kulikuwa na bangi ambayo imepandwa pale. Police officers waliweza kufika hiyo mahali, na baada ya kusearch walipata bangi imepandwa na ingine ambayo ilikuwa imevunwa, imewekwa tayari, iko tayari kwenda kuuzwa. They uprooted ile ambayo ilipatikana pale, and they were able to arrest 3 people from that construction site.
The 3 suspects are said to have been growing the narcotic substances for personal and commercial purposes.
Of leaders drawn from Ukambani region now want the desks tender awarded to local artisans and Juakali workshops revoked and decision on where and how to get the desks left to school managements. The leaders argue that school heads were better placed to know what their learners require, and centralizing the procurement process is an avenue for corruption.
Speaking during the launch of the newly built girls' dormitory at Kibwezi Township Primary School, the leaders, led by Kathiani Member of Parliament, who is also the Wiper National Organizing Secretary Robert Mbui, questioned the rationale of centralizing the tendering process of the school infrastructure program.
Ministry tunasikia mnataka kufanya procurement hiyo vitu. Surely it does not make sense mfanye vile imefanyika KEMSA tukiona. We are asking the ministry, peana pesa kwa shule zetu. Give every school their money. Unajua shule ya Mitaboni iko na watoto 1,000, peana pesa ya desk 1,000, peana pesa ya barakoa 1,000, peana pesa ya sabuni na sanitizer, weka matangi na tosha. That is the solution.
They argued that schools' managements were better placed to initiate the tendering process.
Because you cannot prepare unless you've got money. We are asking the ministry, kindly, tafadhali muhakikishe pesa zimefika kwa mashule ili shule ziweze kuendelea. Unatembea shule kama hii unapata imemea nyazi, wala wanakata nyazi hawako, yule askari anastahili kuchunga hawezi patikana kwa sababu the ministry says they have sent money but the workers of schools are not being paid.
Tunatarajia kwamba kwa sababu maneno ya elimu vile wananchi wamesema sio ya mtu mmoja. Haiwezi kuachiwa serikali, haiwezi kuachiwa walimu, haiwezi kuachiwa wazazi peke yao. Lazima sisi wote tushikane ndio tuweze kusaidia nchi yetu leo na kesho kutu.
The 1.9 billion shillings program was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta Thursday to have over 600,000 desks supplied to schools. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
To Kajiado County now, a new district has been created in Kajiado County. Oloilelai district will comprise of 16 locations and 28 sub-locations and will have Nkatatoek Shopping Center as its headquarters. The district, according to Area County Commissioner Joshua Nkanatha, is aimed at taking services to the local people.
Residents of Kajiado Central have lauded the national government for the creation of a new district in the area. Oloilelai district stretches to the Namanga border post and is aimed at having locals benefit from close government services.
Last week alitupa sub-county ambayo inaitwa Oloilelai na tumepokea kwa furaha sana. Na tunashukuru sana kwa kuwa rais anafanya kazi, ametuletea hiyo maendeleo.
Kajiado County Commissioner Joshua Nkanatha, accompanied by Area Deputy Governor Martin Moshisho, toured the Katatoek Center that will serve as the headquarters of the new district, said police will be deployed to man the center.
Tuanze establish structures sisi tutaanza kusaidia wananchi. Hii ni highway. Hii ni town iko na potential kubwa sana.
Deputy Governor Martin Moshisho urged locals to seize the opportunity to benefit from the services that will be made available in the new district.
Atushukuru kwamba hii
farms and digging trenches without creating a buffer zone is a major health hazard.
Kurawa na jamii ya Kubuka ama ya Kanagoni imekuwa katika mzozo takriban zaidi ya miaka 20 sasa. Na masuala nyeti yale ambayo yanazungumziwa ama yanakabiliwa ni mambo ya kuhusiana na swala la ardhi. Ajabu ni kwamba order ilisema kwamba jamii na Kurawa Industries waweze kushirikiana katika hali ya kulipa pesa za survey. Jamii wako tayari na uchache wao na umaskini wao walioko nao na wakaweka pesa ya kufanya zoezi hilo. Kurawa anayetengeneza mamilioni ya pesa kila mwaka ameshindwa kuchangia survey hiyo ili uamuzi uweze kufanywa na mahakama.
Sisi bado inatumiza sana. Tujaribu kusema kotini ambapo bado kesi bado hazina ruhusa kufanyika, kesi bado haziendi, lakini tunapata kama matajiri wanaendelea kufanya hiyo kazi. Sijui kama serikali ndio inatubania sisi wanyonge kwa matajiri wako sawa ama ni vipi. Nataka hapo serikali pia iingilie kati uone kwamba sisi tunapata haki.
They termed the expansion illegal as there is a matter pending in court between them yet to be resolved for over 20 years.
To some politics now, West Pokot leaders have united to condemn divisive politics in the county, saying it was derailing development activities. The leaders told off some politicians who are driven by selfish interests and want to gain for disharmony in the county.
Led by Area Governor John Lonyangapuo, the leaders said it was wrong for politicians to start politicking now instead of engaging in development activities to change the area that was marginalized for a long period.
Hii siasa ya mdomo tumekataa. Siasa ya kusanyana chini ya miti na kusema mtu fulani Nairobi ni mzuri kuliko fulani tumekataa. Mtu fulani nyeusi kuliko fulani, tumekataa. Mtu fulani ni intelligent kuliko fulani, tumekataa. President mwenye atapigwa kura mzuri kuliko mwenye yuko sahi, tumekataa. And it is treasonable to start imagining, talking about leadership yenye iko sahi.
Speaking at Lomut, leaders defended Governor Lonyangapuo, saying he should be given time to serve the people of West Pokot and that the current sideshows being practiced by certain area politicians should be shunned.
Lonyangapuo ni mtu yenu. Lonyangapuo atakuwa kwa kiti, na jambo la muhimu ni ninyi wanakano kuja kumbembeleza gavana wenu. Ni mtu yenu. Hao wengine ambao hata kuwapotosha ni watu watakaoweka KANU kwenye kaburi la sahau.
The leaders urged the communities to continue living and coexisting peacefully with their neighbors, saying that the development being witnessed in the region is due to the prevailing peace at the common borders.
Hakuna kitu utaweza fanya pasipokuwa na amani.
Na sisi kama wabunge tunakuja kuungana na gavana kuambia nyinyi watu wetu tuachane na mambo ya vita. Hiyo mambo ya vita ilikuwa ni ya zamani kabla sisi hatujazaliwa. Lakini wakati hii tushindane kwa mambo ya kufanya biashara na kazi na kusoma. Tuachane maneno mengine.
Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Now, plot owners within the city have been challenged to utilize their land for economic gains. Speaking while issuing title deeds to over 18,000 property owners, Lands Cabinet Secretary Farida Karonei said land is a valuable asset in this country, and those who have managed to acquire title deeds should not accept to be duped by brokers. The exercise was conducted between the Ministry of Lands and Nairobi Metropolitan Services.
And titles can be issued if the necessary prerequisites are met. We are therefore calling upon beneficiaries to submit relevant documents from 23rd December this year to 10th October this year.
We are properly documenting, including biometrics, capturing the biometrics of the landowners. This is important because of the history of this project. You know, the process started in 1975. That's almost 50 years. So a lot of the documentation in between is lost, and we have to capture the biometrics of the landowners. So as the process comes on, please bear with us. Because if you have waited 50 years, you might as well just wait a few more weeks in order to get proper documentation. Because we don't want to give you title to land which does not belong to you. So it is important that we document all the stuff about your land properly. And please, so when you come to us, come with all the documents that you require to document that particular parcel of land.
More than 140 families whose houses were razed down by a fire in Dam Village, Loresho sub-location in Nairobi County have received assorted goods worth 300,000 shillings from well-wishers. The residents had been forced to sleep in makeshift houses despite the rains, some staying without food for days.
These are the remains of the early morning fire that gutted Dam Village in Loresho, Nairobi last Thursday. Burnt iron sheet, wood, clothes, all scattered in different places. Some of the residents are yet to come to terms with the incident. But to give them hope, a humanitarian organization, Anandamaga Mission Kenya, distributed assorted goods comprising of clothes, blanket, mattress, jikos, and food.
Amefanya zaidi ya mama, so ulezi wake tumeonelea kama ni ulezi bora katika jamii, and we are very thankful kwa hiyo kazi yake ambayo ameifanya.
The local administration welcomed the gesture, saying the affected families can now rebuild their homes.
Wamekuwa hawajapata pahali pazuri pa kulala wakati huu wa mvua, na sasa hivi wanaweza kunufaika na mattresses na mablangeti ambao wataweza kusaidika nao wakati huu.
Anandamaga Mission Kenya Director Danish Kumar called on other well-wishers to assist the less fortunate in the society.
It is our opportunity to serve the people, and we are here to serve the people, and till they are not settled down, we are with them, we are with their pains, we are with their sufferings, and we will help them
Elsewhere, there were tears of joy for Esther Wanjiru and her 17-year-old daughter Irene Wanjiku, who lives with a disability after the Hoyo Makan Community Development Organization came knocking on their doors in South Sea, Nairobi. The NGO has committed to build for them a semi-permanent house. The two have been putting up in an old mabati structure which had a leaking roof.
Because we could complete this small project for now and improve the quality of life for Irene and her mom. So I think all of us as a community, we should look at the most vulnerable people in our communities and help them out.
Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Let's do the business now. Some good news for county governments. The National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani says 60 billion shillings will be disbursed to counties on Monday after the Senate passed the County Allocation of Revenue Bill. Yatani says the first allocation will last the counties for 2 months, adding that the standoff in passing of the bill has hurt normal operations in counties, calling for consensus to avert such scenarios in future.
After a protracted stalemate at the Senate over the revenue allocation bill, senators on Thursday resolved the issue after the national government pledged to increase cash to counties by 53.5 billion shillings. The National Treasury is now ready to disburse 60 billion shillings of the cash to devolved units on Monday next week.
I want to assure Kenyans that by latest Monday, we are going to disburse an amount of 60 billion to the counties, which is here for 2 months. We've already finalized all the internal arrangements within National Treasury. The funds is there. We're just waiting for the presidential assent, possibly today, to disburse these funds by latest 10, 11 a.m. on Monday.
He, however, took issue with the delayed passage of the revenue bill, saying it had crippled services in the devolved units and rolled back gains made in the fight against the spread of COVID-19.
Bilateral and friendly bilateral countries. Whether most of the time the interest rate is at 1%, with a longer repayment period of even up to 30 years.
He says the government is stepping up its fiscal consolidation to help meet its debt obligations. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Now, further afield, the Turkish currency has depreciated to a record low, bringing multiple challenges to the country's economy amid the COVID-19 outbreak. The currency devaluation of Turkey has impacted residents mainly with a continuous rise in prices, especially with import-reliant products like automobiles, household appliances, and electronic products. Here are the details of these and more in our international business roundup.
Customers' purchasing power and customer flow in Turkey are much lower than that of before. The Turkish lira has lost 22% to the US dollars this year. This has seen Moody's Investor Service downgrade Turkey's sovereign credit rating from B1 to B2, the lowest in nearly 2 decades. The currency devaluation has also caused a decrease in the real income of the working class. The main reason to the continued decline of the Turkish lira is Turkey's insufficient foreign exchange reserves, which is unable to stabilize the exchange rate. In addition, the COVID-19 outbreak has badly hit the country's pillar industry of tourism, resulting in a significant drop of foreign currency earnings. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia has announced discovery of ancient human and animal footprints dating back to more than 120,000 years in the country's northern region of Tabuk. The country's Heritage Commission says the archaeological discovery in Tabuk represents the first scientific evidence of human life on the Arabian Peninsula. A joint team of Saudi and international archaeologists identified footprint traces of 7 humans, 107 camels, 42 elephants, and other animals. In addition to the footprints, hundreds of fossils were found at the site, including 233 skeletal remains of elephants and oryx. Finally, homestay hotels have seen a booking spike as rural tourism continues to recover around Beijing from impact of COVID-19. The tourist number and revenue of rural tourism in July and August have bounced back to over 90% of the usual level. The homestay hotels in North Beijing were originally planted to create a fruit picking business. As a big selling point of the hotels, fruit picking has brought in flocks of tourists. Every 5 square meters of picking area can generate an annual Every 5 square meters of picking area can generate an annual revenue of $440, which in turn drives up the occupancy rate.
Let's do the sports now. All sporting activities in the country except contact sports are expected to resume immediately after Sports Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed unveiled the protocols to the resumption of sports and recreational activities in the country. Sporting activities in the country were suspended since March following the outbreak of coronavirus.
Men and women who have been missing in action for almost 5 months now have something to smile about after Sports Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed today announced the first phase of resumption of sporting activities. The CS announced that non-contact sporting activities will resume, but contact sports, including judo, karate, boxing, chess, and swimming, will remain suspended. All sporting activities for sportsmen and women under the ages of 18 will also remain suspended.
So private fitness clubs may reopen immediately and observe all the containment measures, including strict social distancing, sanitization, hand washing, among other measures as provided in the guidelines. Strict adherence is expected from gym owners and users in this respect. The management of all sports federations, management of training camps, sports academies, sports facilities, and other sports institutions shall ensure enforcement and compliance of these guidelines in order to secure the safety of our athletes, athlete support personnel, all staff, event organizers, and spectators. Further, all sports events shall be planned and executed in accordance with the Ministry of Health COVID-19 directives. I repeat that. Further, all sports events shall be planned and executed in accordance with the Ministry of Health COVID-19 directives. Ladies and gentlemen, these guidelines will change from time to time, and that will depend on the global.
The Cabinet Secretary further stressed on the need for sports academies and training camps to ensure compliance of all set directives in the fight against COVID-19. Dr. Francis Kuria, the head of public health in the Ministry of Health, said that technical staff and benches around stadiums will be required to be on the face masks all the time. Frederick Mwoki for Channel 1 Sports.
1500 meters champion Timothy Cheruiyot is eyeing to run another world-leading time at the last leg of the Diamond League circuit in Doha, Qatar on 25th September. Cheruiyot has nearly managed a sub 3 minutes 30 seconds this season, registering 3 minutes 28.48 seconds, a world-leading time on his way to victory at the opening Diamond League meeting in Monaco in August.
Timothy Cheruiyot registered an impressive 3 minutes 30.25 seconds, a sub 3 minutes 30 seconds performance that is eager to surpass in Doha.
Doha naona mwili imerespond mzuri na naona Doha kama feel itakuwa strong.